So on to our next speaker, Cayden Pierce. So Cayden helps people upgrade their thinking by creating wearable BCIs and is currently the BCI lead at Blueberry. And so they work on building BCI enabled glasses that allow continuous brain state monitoring to help make users better at work, better during breaks and rest decisions, and overall productivity and satisfaction. So I'll pass it on to you, Cayden.
Okay, thanks, Eden. Can you guys hear me and see me all right?
Yep.
Great. So hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the invite. Thanks to Alberta Tech for having us all out here. This is such a great lineup of some of the best people in neurotech, and I'm really glad to be here. Thanks to Landon and the whole team. So a little bit about myself. I started working on wearable computing in general back in my first year of my undergrad. I was studying software engineering at Western University, and I had the great opportunity after the first year or so of me kind of hacking on wearables at my own house to meet Steve Mann. He's considered the father of wearable computing, so he was a hero of mine at the time and still. And I went and worked at his lab for a couple summers in between school, and that was how I was introduced to Blueberry. So I worked with Blueberry over the course of the summer, and now I'm taking time off from my schooling to work at Blueberry full time because it's such a great opportunity. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the future that we foresee at Blueberry, what we're trying to create, and the technology that we have right now that we've built. And I'll do a little bit of a teardown of one of the units so you can see, exactly it is what we're building. And I'll try to do it in 15 minutes. So let's go. First off, I know because of the venue that a lot of you, maybe the majority of you, are at University of Alberta and in Edmonton. And I had the chance about a year ago to visit University of Alberta, which was an awesome opportunity. I flew out with a friend of mine, Jeremy Stairs. We went to visit Professor Kyle Mathewson, who I'm sure a lot of you know. And we just met up for a week to hack on a bunch of neurotech stuff. We got up to all kinds of crazy antics. Lots of funny things happened. I think one of my favorite stories from that week is we were using a hacked EEG system, and there was a problem with one of the electrodes that ended up electrode plating my head. And so you can see in the slide there's literally silver oxide embedded into my forehead. And for the sake of science, Kyle wanted to make sure this was reproducible. So he also proceeded to put electric current through his face. And yes, it was reproducible. He got it too. So that was my my dose of University of Alberta, and it was quite a fun time. At Blueberry, we're working on neurotech. We're working on BCIs like everyone else here, and I like to think about the far future all the time. So of course, we're thinking about the future of extending our cognition, right? Having that second brain, that second processor that is taking in all the information we are, processing it, and providing an extended cognition. We're thinking about things like personalized mental health assistants that know everything that's going on in our own minds. We're thinking about media arbiters that pick the perfect sources of information so that we can understand what's going on, but not become overwhelmed. And there's, the list can go on and on and on about these really perhaps far future, but definitely realizable technologies. And I kind of see the space that we're all working in right now, and what Blueberry is trying to build as a foundation for a lot of those things. And so the base of what we're trying to do right now is to help us improve our performance and improve our health by helping us understand our own brains, what's going on up in here. So the way we do that is by trying to answer some key questions that's going to help us make better decisions to subsequently improve our performance and improve our health. The kind of questions we want to answer are things like, what causes me stress? What helps me de-stress? Questions about what time of day is going to be best to perform deep work? What times a day I should take a break? So I guess a few examples of use cases that myself and some of our users have gotten from Blueberry. One of our users, Bart, he is a principal tech lead at his company. And so he's constantly having presentations on a stage or in a Zoom chat where he's presenting to a group of people. And his workflow is he'll record the meeting and he'll also record his brainwaves at the same time. And after the meeting, he'll go review the information, his kind of a plot of his stress over time and the video. And he can correlate those and see what parts of the meeting caused him more stress. And thus, those are the areas that he needs to focus in a little bit more because he wasn't as confident there. So it can help him perform better in those meetings. For me, I've found one of our latest experiments is every day at night, I receive a text telling me when I should take a break the next day. And so I've tried to structure my days, how I plan my work sessions around that break time. And it's really helped me to have more consistency and kind of like what Jacob was getting at, maintain focus for longer, because as you start to lose focus and as you start to get out of a state where you're performing your best, you take a break. And it's helped me to perform better. And another example would be from Steve Mann, one of the co-founders at Blueberry. He likes to use it for his physical health and exercise and see how his physical activities affect his mental state. So Steve is a huge fan of swimming. And when I say huge fan, I mean huge fan. He is still swimming multiple days a week right now, downtown Toronto. We went for a polar plunge on New Year's Day, which was quite exciting and intense. But what he'll do often is measure his mental state, his energy levels and stress before the swim. And then we've worked on some waterproof versions. Sometimes he'll take it off, sometimes he'll jump in with it. And then he gets out of the water and looks at his mental state again, so he can see how it affected his state of mind. So I'm going to jump into a little bit on how the technology works. And so my timer stopped here. So in a few minutes, if I go over, just interrupt me, I guess. And so I'm sure a lot of you know what Fnears is. And I'll just give a quick, the 30-second explanation for those who don't, so that you're not lost when we go ahead and do the teardown. So the most important things you're going to want to understand when it comes to Fnears is about neurovascular coupling and about absorption of light of blood. So neurovascular coupling is as simple as when there's functional activity in the brain, there's going to be a subsequent increase in oxygenation of the blood. And the other thing to understand is that blood responds differently to different wavelengths of light based upon the oxygenation of the blood. So if it's more oxygenated, it's going to absorb some wavelengths of light more than others. And that's essentially Fnears. You couple those together and we can emit light into the brain, read what comes back, and that can tell us if there's functional activity going on in that area of the brain. So I'm just going to jump right into a teardown of one of the units, one of the latest Blueberry units that we have. But first, I guess I'll show you the functional one I have on my head here. So this is a glasses attachment. It snaps onto any normal pair of glasses. And this is the entire Fnears unit, self-contained. This, like I said, snaps onto any normal pair of glasses. It streams the data over Bluetooth, and it'll last about 12 hours on one charge. And so let's just jump into it. So this here is a unit that I took apart before the call, and I put it back together without adhesive, without screws, anything like that. And this is the neurofeedback version. So there's an LED that you can see while you're wearing it. It reflects mental load values. And so I have a light here that's basically moving through a color space from blue to green to red. And that represents a number that is sort of how hard I'm thinking at that time. So I'll go ahead and tear this one apart. So this is a fiber optic cable that couples to the board on the inside. And I can just snap that off like this. And you can see on the outside here, we've got 3 light pipes. So those transmit and receive light. They're a coupling to help block out ambient light that's coming in that's not from what we're emitting into the head. And so I can even pull one of them off, and you can see it goes right into the board. Maybe not enough light, but you'll see in a second that this couples directly with the board, which you'll see in just a moment. This is just an on-off switch, and that's just for saving power and such. The battery is right on the back here in this 3D printed case, and the battery is part of the clip. So you can see, maybe I'll come in nice and close. You can see it snap onto my glasses, right? The battery's right on the outside here, and the sensing is along here. And we've made the battery part of the case to save on space, make this as compact as possible. So I'm just going to pop this battery out. And then the last step is the actual Fnear's board itself. And so I'm going to pull that out with a pair of tweezers here. By the way, welcome to my home lab here. I'm in Ontario, where we're in lockdown, but thankfully I'm lucky enough to have a nice place to work all alone here. So this is the Fnear sensing board. That's the entire BCI, self-contained. So you can see, that you can see my pinky sticking out on both sides of that. So it's very small, and the benefit of having a board that small is when it comes to power, this thing can last for 12 hours. We've had some test units that we've got that up to even higher. And when it comes to the form factor, right, when you're wearing something all day, every day, you want it to be unnoticeable to other people and to yourself on your head. So I guess the last thing I'll show you here is the sensing side. So this is our array of LEDs that are emitting light at wavelengths that are above and below that crossover point, that isosbestic point, which you can see on the chart on your screen right now. And then these are the 2 emitters. And when I showed you those light pipes on the outside, these are the 3 things that we're coupling to. So that light can emit, leave, go into the head, and then go into the brain, come back, and be received by the diodes right here. So that's a really quick rundown of the tech that we've built. And you are seeing right now an output from the BCI the unit that I'm wearing, which is streaming from my head to my phone, and then to a web backend, which really quick, I think I'm probably running out of time here, but I can just show you quickly the dashboard where you can access a number of live metrics. So I won't explain everything, but there's mind metrics, health metrics. You can see over the course of a day how your brain was responding, the different states. And then because we're really trying to keep this open and available for hacking, developing, we have SDKs in most of the new high-level languages, and you can download all of your data from any day that you want to right from that dashboard. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. And the whole point of all of this, the sensing and the system is, again, to help us improve our health and our performance. And that's the real goal. So thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in and watching. Thank you to Alberta Tech. And I don't know where my time is, so if there's question time, let me know. And if not, thanks a lot. My email, we'll put up on the screen and they'll share. Please feel free to reach out. Thank you.